Hello? Hello, 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 hello? Hello? Who's here? How are you? Let me know how video and audio is today. It's been a while. Serenity! Ah! Thank you for the sub. That was like on point, huh? Sub Trump. No rubs. How many you got? 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thank you, Serenity. And I haven't forgotten about your commission stuff. I promise it's still coming. It's just I have some stuff before that, and I promise I'll get to it probably around mid to late April, hopefully. And then Spongy too, 15! You guys, I need a year marker. This is nuts. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16. Thank you, Spongy! Spongy! Serenity! Thank you! You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, really? Hey! You're gonna hear the moo, okay? The moo is the pup. I call her the moo. It's a long story. Anyway, she's snoring hardcore. She got her, what is it, the rabies one? I think she got her rabies shot today. I think that's the one. It's the last of her puppy shots. So they said she'd be knocked out basically today, so, you know. No robes. Hey Kitchen, how are you? Oh, I'm glad you guys are here. What's everybody working on today? Huh? Huh? I'm so excited for this button. I'm pimping it like mad on social media, and I feel kind of dumb because I don't like pimping my stuff. Who does, right? But this one I'm so excited for. I'm actually even thinking about doing more with it later, and I'll explain that another time. But I really, really like this design, and what I like most about it too is that it's Clover, right? It's a Clover-based design, so I love that for their little, like, I don't even think it's a dress, whatever this is. It's almost more like a tunic because their arms come out, maybe like what I'm wearing. It's kind of like a poncho. So the 4-leaf clover aspect of it, and it is 4 leaves, and that's explained in their lore too, which comes with the button when you sub on my Patreon. But they have 4 leaves, like the 4-leaf clover, and the top of their head is the clover blossom flower, right? So once in a while you'll see the blossoms that are among the clovers. I love them, they're beautiful. Some doodles and Divine Lady with her baby. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw you starting that, Spongy. That looked really good. I like that it seemed, I'm not going to say out of your comfort zone, but not your normal stuff you usually do. I thought that was really cool. I'll get into the con in a minute. Hey, Nightshade! It does, Serenity. It always does. And I don't care how long you're doing it. And I assume even if you get big, you still feel weird. Like the people that probably see themselves on commercials and junk, I'm guessing they still feel a little weird about that sometimes. Maybe if you're like Robert De Niro, maybe you're used to it or something, but I don't know. Okay, so about the con and my trip. So as you can see by the lack of, Gabbo, there's no Gabbo right now. He will probably be here later tonight. I don't know when, maybe in an hour or two. He's setting up for C2E2 today, which luckily is pretty near home. So it's like an hour-ish away. So he went to do that, and then he's going to come back, and he's going to spend the night, and then he's gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he's staying at his sister's while he's at C2E2. So that's nice. At least we have free hotel for this one, technically. But he's not here right now. I hope the show goes good for him. But I was gone from the 13th through the 18th. I was gone a few days, which I'm still not used to. It gets really weird. The con for me was great. But this is kind of interesting because it seems like I was an outlier. So, example, I'll show you what I mean. So C2E2 is usually a fantastic con, sorry, not C2E2, Emerald City is a fantastic con for everybody that goes, right? Everybody's always pumped to go to it. However, this year, I'll show you, last year and all the subsequent previous years that they've been on this floor, they had the artist alley over here, okay? And there's some like other junk over here, then there's a hallway and bathrooms and stuff, and then there's more stuff here. Then this is the main escalator that brings people upstairs, and usually people do this, right? Typically. And then there's another escalator right here, but it's not the main one. Okay, this is the main escalator. Main escalator. So what they did this year that was different than all other years was they turned this into more artist alley and this. So instead of just being this like giant room, it actually became like a C shape, right? Which kind of sucked because a lot of people, since it was the first time they did this, and you know, it's forgivable, this was like not even known that it was artist alley. It used to be panels, and I think even sometimes a band would play in this area. So people didn't even know what to do with this. However, since this was the main escalator, they had to walk through that anyway. So those people were kind of blessed. The people over here, which myself included, and actually it wasn't like this. Let me show this more accurately. Yeah, so it was more like this. And they had the writers over here too. But, oh, this map's getting really bad really quick. Because this area was actually pretty big. And then over here are more like meeting rooms and stuff. They had panels in there. They got panels over here. There's like a taqueria type of thing. Anyway, so what sucked about this though is people had to be trafficked through here to there. So it was obvious they saw artists, you know, dotted along everywhere in there, right? Here though, a lot of people didn't even get over here. And not only that, but even if you were like, unless you were way over here in the artist alley, you didn't even know there were artists over here because you couldn't see because there's a wall right here. So your good old friend Clover was not even the front row. I was on this row because there were 3 in here, okay? So I was actually right here and I was facing the wall, okay? So how it happened was some people would come up through, let's see, this other escalator, and they'd come over and they'd go, and then they'd go back here and they'd see me and they'd come out and then they'd go through the artist alley that way. Other people though, like I said, did it this way and then they never even made it over here, some people. They didn't even know. Like Sunday people were maybe trickling in and like, oh my god, I didn't even know this was here. So these people were very upset. And, you know, rightfully so. We didn't get as much traffic as the other sides, but then again, this was its first year, and I feel like being forgivable to it because even if I didn't do as well as I did, because it's the first year, people need to get used to this new configuration, and I'm sure next year they'll know that, you know, this area is here because of this year. So it takes a while for people to get used to the new layout. And Friday night, people had complained that were in here already about low traffic and stuff, but it's like it's a Thursday and a Friday. Usually you don't complain about that because they're slow anyway. But what happened was they emailed the main guy in charge, and he's so accommodating at all the cons. Usually the Reed Pop cons are really good because of this guy. And he was very accommodating. He ended up doing signs like last minute the next day, super quick, to make sure people knew about it. He even put up somebody over here to mention that there's another artist alley over here. So that one person's job was just to let people know, which is crazy. So he did that, he made a sign, and they put out a social media thing saying, hey, don't forget to check out, this was JJ and KK over here, right? So they tried their best to do what they could with the time that was left this year. And I'm sure next year it'll be a lot better, but these people, there's one guy specifically, and of course he sold fan art, right? Who's going around, he's like, oh, a lot of us are really upset because we didn't do so good this year. And if you didn't do so good, we're going to put together this petition and we're going to, send it to the main guy. I don't want to use his name, I don't know why. And let him know how displeased we are. And I was like, I did really good. Like, I did better this year than I did the past 4 years. However, like I said, I'm an outlier because if I just went by my merch, yeah, I did pretty poorly. I'll admit that. And that's where I kind of sympathized with him. I'm like, all right, if I take out my money maker, yeah, I get it. And I was sympathetic to his plight. But at the same time, I didn't want to be grouped in with a bunch of people complaining when I did really good. So I feel kind of torn about it. I almost want to write an email separately and be like, I don't want to be lumped in with these people, but they took my card, so they might have done it anyway. So politics, right? Can't escape it. But anyway, it was a great show, and my first good show this year. Honestly, the last one was not good, but then again, anime show, Hey Goss! Welcome! Yeah, Keck. Okay, so Keck found me. I don't know how. But was it confusing for you? Like, did you go up this main escalator over here? Or did you go up this side one? Because depending on where you started, I feel like people may not have ever saw us, I know, Nightshade, and I was like, and the guy that was doing poorly, I was like, maybe you were doing poorly because you were selling fan art and people are sick of it. But I didn't want to even touch that. I didn't want to at all. But, oh wait, yeah, no Gabo, not today. He might be here later, but he's at C2E2 right now setting up. Sniggle, beautiful drawing. Thank you, Snig. 18. I think you might be the winner, Snig, for how long someone's been subbed to me. I'm going to do it real quick. More nub rubs. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sultry at the end. I got to get a new gimmick. I swear to God. Once I get a giant chunk of time, I'm upgrading Twitch hard. 'Cause I'm tired of this. Also, they gave us like a bunch of more Twitch emotes we can do now. I think they're worried about losing affiliates because we could only have 3 before, and now we can have like 5 per tier. So I think they're kind of scared. Anyway, Emerald City, like I said, is always a fantastic con. It's just this year they changed the layout a little bit, so some people are upset. I did great. So there's that. Also, I want to show you guys Monsters and Dames. Hold on, let me go get it. Excuse me, Mushy. Traditional cam hooked up. I guess I could though. It might be easier. Alright, hold on. We are working today on this. Let me show you. I'm going to reiterate again. For anyone who's not a Patreon person, but maybe you're on Twitch and you're subbing me here, I'm gonna urge you to go join Patreon right now, especially at this tier. This is the Curious Collector $6 tier, and it might be at $1 more, but you get 2 pins and a story. And I'm really urging this one because I am so excited about this button, more so than any other one I've done. And I changed my Patreon to work, at least for now. I don't know how long I'm going to be with Patreon anymore, but for the moment, just because Patreon is going to change some stuff. We'll see. I don't know. Too much to think about. But I changed it so anyone can join at any time in the month, and you can still get that thing that month. You don't have to sign up like before that month hits. I just need you to sign up before April hits if you want this one. And if some of you are my pay over timers, you can still get this too if you switch over, add on your pay over time, and then let me know you want it. Because that should work okay. Oof. Okay, so let me catch up really quick. I know, Serenity, I really should. I feel I just don't want someone taking my email, writing a whole bunch of stuff, and then putting my name with it. I don't feel comfortable with that at all, especially with how mad this kid was. I don't want to be part of that. Were I feeling okay? Nightshade, I wanted to so badly, but he was already really revved up and on like a mission to get people to sign up for this thing, where I think he would have just taken everybody's card anyway and put him on this thing. Anyway, I didn't want to mess with him. I'm learning to pick my battles. He was not going to be receptive at all. I know. Yeah, I agree with Goss. Sniggle, I'm glad you're posting stuff. I'm glad you got time to do it. For a good story. Oh, Sniggle. Okay, so look at this. Every year, Emerald City puts out this book. It's called Monsters and Dames, and everybody who gets into the Artist Alley gets to try to contribute a piece that may or may not get into the book, but the book sales themselves go straight to charity. So I think it does the whole time too. I think the book is just for charity. So they really urge us to not sell any of the prints of the work we did up to the con, so that it's exclusive just for the book. Afterwards you can sell prints and stuff, but the exclusivity they really want you to keep, so that people want the book. So anyway, here's the cover. And it's usually full of some really great people. Let's see, they give you this really nice list too of alphabetical order of everybody who's in the book, and then by location, so your tables. Both of these are really nice depending on if you want to just mosey through the alley and get people as you go, or if you want to kind of go and pick people out. People use this to actually every year go get autographs in their book, and they have you usually sign your piece that you did in here. So this is the 2019 one. As you can see, maybe you'll see some people you know in here, some artists. Gawky got in, Tim got in, Gabe and I got in. Let's see, anybody? Our buddy Dan Govar, who's really good at watercolor. Gavin Gray Valentine, Jonathan Lamontia is our buddy. Oh, this Leslie Strock chick was sitting across from me. Her stuff is great. You should really look up Leslie Strock. She has a lot of good things. Naomi Van Doren is in here. Tony Moy, who's also a Twitch streamer. Oh yeah, Tyler, Sketch Geek, and Val, who she has been working on a manga for like 10 years, and she's got books on books on books, and she needs to be more popular. Like, she really does. Her style's amazing, her work ethic's amazing, she's amazing. I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, I think you can still buy the book online, pretty sure, if you wanted to, and the proceeds I think go to charity. So you get a lot of different styles in here, as you can see. But it's all based around the idea of monsters and dames. So you can have women versus monsters, women with monsters, women that are monsters. Like, just as long as you kind of use the title as the prompt. And like I say, it's every year it's monsters and dames. Like, so you know what to expect. You could even do it earlier in the year. They do have a deadline, but so it's only for the people that get into the artist alley. So Gabe did get into the artist alley. He just didn't end up going because, you know, pup. But the funny thing is that I did not expect, and yeah, we know some people that are in charge of the con, but it's more weird to me that we got next to each other in the book. Like, so I'm wondering if they did that on purpose. So this one was mine. I've got, let's see, you can see this here. It's actually brighter than it should be. Oh God, looks like crap. There we go. So I've got a moth here that's got a lantern, and the fairy's riding it, and they're being chased by an owl. It was digital and kind of rushed, but I'd rather have something in there than not. And then Gabe's here. He's got a girl that's remotely hooked up to this mech that's fighting this dude that's got mouths everywhere, which is freaking gross now that I look at it. I mean, signature taco stuff here. So I thought it was really cute. We got next to each other. Let's see. There's a whole slew of different styles in here, as well as levels of experience. And I think it's nice they do that. I think it's super encouraging for other artists that maybe, you know, trying to get in here. Key ended up next to Tyler too. I thought that was really cool. Let's see. And then I wanted to show you Tim's. Tim's, I think, was just the, for those that know Tim, the skeletal boy and woman under the water. That one. Some of these, though, I really, really dig. Yeah, that's the one of Tim's that got in. So, there was that. There's Tony Moyes, so if anybody wants to go watch his streams, he's fantastic. I think this was my favorite, though, honestly. I really like this style. I liked how he drew this girl down here. It's really simple, but it's super strong. There's a lot of cute things in there like that, but I don't know, for some reason that one struck me. So anyway, I'm pretty sure you can get this online. Let me see. I mean, if you're a sucker for art books and you want to help out charities and indie people, you know, come across new people, this is a good way to do it. Oh yeah, so you can actually buy it for $40. Here, awesome. They made that really easy. Let me catch up in chat. I'm also gonna. My lighting's all screwed up because my window is right next to me, and the sun keeps going in and out of clouds. So Gabe hasn't even seen this yet. I keep forgetting to show him. Ooh, whoops. Okay, so back to this. Alright. Catch up in chat. Having a friend with the other, and then we're like, well, there's like a lot of opinions on it. I'm like, yeah, there's no opinion. It's true, Sniggle. Your friend was wrong. Just tell your friend the website that I made. Like, really, that'll do it for you. If they look through it and they're not changed by the end, they're not gonna be, and they're kind of past help, I'll say. Damn. Hold on. Try to fix this. Alright. The books are $40, Serenity, yeah. I don't know about shipping, though. Okay. So we're going to be doing the Clover pick today. And like I said, If you guys want the button and the lore that goes with it, and you also get a random button, go on my Patreon. And like I said, I feel really bad for those of you who have been subbed to me on Twitch for so long, and A, I haven't finished out my emotes, and B, you really don't get anything tangible. At least with my Patreon, and especially that Curious Collector tier, you're actually getting physical cool things, I think, because it's the one thing on my Patreon that I actually care about really, like, a lot. It's my one thing a month I get to be, you know, fully immersive with and all me, so. But yeah, it's basically the same price as a sub, so you might as well get something for it. And like I said, since this is such a passion thing, I actually get paid maybe $1 from your $6. The rest of it's shipping and materials, because the buttons, there's a scroll, I put it in this cute little cardboard thing, like, it adds up. So really, if I get paid at all, you know, it's like $1, maybe. But it's worth it to me because I think eventually I'll put together a book, but you won't get all the buttons, obviously, so. Hey, thank you. I'm well. I didn't get sick from Emerald. I swear to God, if I have to swear by anything, hand sanitizer. I cannot tell you how good hand sanitizer is. I wasn't even hopped up on vitamin C. I didn't use any of the emergency things, nothing, except hand sanitizer. Used it like a mother. So good. I did not get sick. I haven't been sick from a con yet, so. Hey, Spongy, yeah! Awesome. Hey, Mayfox. Yeah, man, like, I just squirt the stuff every time because I like shaking people's hand, and I like, connecting with them, and, you know, I'm a hands-on person. Some people don't like that. I always wait to see if they are or not before I shove my hand in their face, but I need hand sanitizer because you go straight for food sometimes and you don't even think about it. It's like, nope, hand sanitizer. I also try to wait till people are out of view and then I do it, because sometimes if people catch you sanitizing after they just touched your hand, I feel like that's a huge diss. So I really don't want them to catch me. Thank you, Wade. I hope it doesn't either. I'm really sad I didn't get to do a St. Patrick's Day stream. We might have to do like a late one because, first of all, it's like my holiday, right? I'm slowly adopting it as my thing because every time I go to like a Target or a Walmart and they've got their little Clover section, I buy too much crap. I bought a light up like hat. I didn't even know it was a hat that lit up. It was just a beanie. And then I found out it said light up on the sticker. I'm like, oh no. And I clicked it and it's got all these settings. I was like, shit, I just like that it was a Clover beanie, but whatever. Yeah, get sanitizer. Oh my God. I have one hanging on my purse. I have one hanging on my backpack. I have another one that's in my little thing behind my booth. Get it everywhere. Put it in your car. Oh my God. Ew, Sniggle. Ew. Oh yeah, Nightshade. I usually say, you know, oh, my hand's still wet from washing my hands, but I know Gabe says, I peed on myself, sorry. He's such a dad. Okay, so this was my initial design for it, so it's pretty jank, but to me it gets across what I need. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to Clip Studio to do my inking because I want it to be super smooth. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to set it to 300. I'm going to do my width. Let's do it in actual inches, maybe. Do they have inches? Oh, that's silly. Fine, I won't. Alright, let's do 3,000 by 3,000. That's safe, at least. And I'll bring it over there. I'm gonna go open it up out here. How have you guys been? How was your weekend? Was it good? Tell me your highlights. And I guess lowlights. Every time I say lowlights, though, I think of hair. But it does apply. So tell me your highlights and your lowlights. And I'm going to size this up to be the size I want it to be. It's going to be super, super jaggy, but it doesn't matter because I'm tracing it. So it doesn't need to be anything special. Oh, Sniggle. Bleh. It does, Nightshade. I mean, it's basically alcohol, right? So it dries your hands out like crazy. Genocide. I also read that as genocide. Oh no. That's no good. I always carry genocide with me in my heart. God, no. Let's see. I've got to put this somewhere else because I can't see it. I don't know why my lighting's this bad today, too. Sorry, all. Highlight, I didn't die. Always a good point. Well said. I'm kind of proud of myself because technically this was the first time I was on a plane alone. This is the first time I went to another city that big really alone. Like I had been for the past 3 years either accompanying Gabe or somebody else. So this is the first time I flew alone. I had a hotel alone. Everything was alone and it was kind of great. I love being alone. Like if I wasn't with Gabe, I would just be totally fine. And I love that because it's nice. The only thing that was weird for me, since I'm never really alone anymore, was eating in a public place alone. I was the chick in a booth at this bar. It was the only thing at the hotel. It was a sports bar. And I was in a booth all by myself. I had just a huge salad, right? It was a huge like Southwestern salad, so it was giant. And a giant order of cheese curds. And I just sat there and I was just eating it. But I got a little self-conscious at a couple points. And I was like, am I eating right? And then I caught myself thinking that. I was like, that was dumb. That was dumb. You're dumb for thinking that. Just eat. Just eat how you normally eat. Who are you trying to impress? And then, like, that was the first night. And after that, I was fine. I had, like, ice cream all weekend at my favorite Seattle, like, ice cream place. They have a lot of good vegan and veggie options in Seattle, so I was spoiled all weekend. I tried not to make Gabe feel bad about it, but it was great. Niece's birthday! Oh, I saw the giraffe! That was really cute. Spongy, you guys did a really good job on it. I thought that was really cute. Do you just plan on them like writing on it with a Sharpie, or do they put up little plaques so it's easier to see on it? Because that was a vibrant giraffe. It was beautiful. The ghosts were there. It's true. That's good, Serenity. I'm glad you didn't get sick. Gosh, I'm so sad you were sick. Don't be sick. You guys don't get sick. Oh, that's good, Spongy. I think that's good once in a while. Like, if you've got one, go for it, you know? Need lady dates, I think. Yeah. That insomnia thing, May Fox, is totally real. Like, when it comes to cons. Oh, man. Oh, Serenity, don't be sick. No. What kind of sick? Like, pukey sick? Or, like, cold sick? Can you guys hear the dog? She's snoring real bad. You sleep great at cons? I do at the con. It's before the con. I always get a little bit, did I remember this? Did I pack the money? All that kind of stuff. I always forget. Okay. Let's get back to this. Sniggle, how's your medieval combat fighting been? That feels weird to say. Medieval combat fighting. I think I'm also going to make... Now, there are different kinds of these clover flowers. There are the pink ones, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. but there are also white clovers. I did a lot of research because, like I said, with these buttons, I like to do a little bit of a story or poem or lore. My groundhog poem ended up being kind of heavy. For those of you that got it, I at least say at the bottom, I know it was super heavy, right? But I like to actually look up a lot that I could get inspired off of. But I actually really like that they have like green and white in them. They're very pretty. But they do mean like, I connected most with, I also look up like what the flowers mean and stuff. I connected the most with this part that said that they stand for revenge. And I do consider myself a vengeful person when under the right circumstances. So that kind of struck me. But then there was a secondary part that was the whole, they stand for the vengeance, like where it's like a life well lived is the best vengeance. You know, the best revenge is a life well lived. And I totally agree with that. Like, I like that a lot. Whenever I'm thinking of personally attacking someone, I'm like, no, not only is that immature, that's just evil. Instead, rise above it, that whole thing. And it's easier said than done, for sure. But sorry, Gabe's texting me. So he might be home sooner than later. Might. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I also have the whole idea that these guys are very sought after by bees. So in the lore strip, I'm going to have some illustrations about their daily life and the fact they get chased by bees. I'm so inspired by this character that I might even make a short story eventually. So I'm pretty pumped. Anyway. Oh, neural sick. Oh, I'm sorry, Serenity. Your sleeping sickness? That sucks so bad. I'm so sorry. Spongy, are you antisocial or are you asocial? Antisocial is like, people always seem to use that incorrectly, where you like are against social stuff in society, where asocial, you avoid it. Like you avoid social situations, where antisocial is like you actively hate, you know? Oh good, Sniggle. I'm glad. You seem to really enjoy it. I actually found that the people I get along with best, Spongy, are older people. So I'm totally with you about this lady that lives alone with her 6 cats. I get it. I think that's smart. I found out being with a lot of younger people, especially living with some for a while, kind of drives you up the wall. Even if they mean well, like, can drive you nuts after a bit. Oh, Gabe came in here. Oh. I don't know why it's weird when he watches the stream as opposed to being here. That's weird. Anyway. Hey, Mai, how are you? Hey, your stuff lately has been, like, nuts. Really good. I've been enjoying it quite a bit, so keep it up. We miss you, too. No, it is my Adventure Creation Month, but this is technically part of my Patreon, and every month, everybody who's on my Curious Collector tier gets either a poem, a story. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're making all these noises. Are you still sleepy? Oh, you're falling asleep sitting up. But yeah, this is actually a button you can get, or will be able to get, if you sign up before the end of March, before April, on my Patreon. So, what is the granny doing? She's been sleeping, but she's got mites, and apparently it's super normal, typical for puppies to get mites. So she's got the cone because they were like infesting her face, and for a while we thought it was just her folds that were getting irritated but it's like we clean them all the time. Like, we are so diligent about cleaning her folds, and she was still getting these rashes and stuff, and so we took her in, and apparently she got mites, and we have mites. Everywhere there are mites, apparently, but puppies don't have the immune system yet to fight off mites. So I could actually tell there were mites. I just didn't know it. I thought I was having my eczema act up on my hand, but it was the mites, because now I have no rash, and before I had a huge rash before she was getting treated for it. So now she's got meds, and she's being a good girl, but she got her cone. She's my little lamp. But she's been sleeping. She is huge, you guys. I can't even tell you how big she's gotten. It's incredible. If Gabe comes home before the stream's over, I'll have him pick her up and show you. She's huge. I can't even lift her. Then again, I'm kind of weak right now, but you know. I think in June would be a great time to create a story for this month. Oh, for this little guy. Yeah, but Emily, then I'd be breaking my own rule. So my main rule for Journey June is that you have to use a character that is brand new. So since I'm already developing a story for this guy for Patreon, I've already failed using it for June. Maybe if I had designed it and then, not. So I forgot to explain what it is. So this is called a pip. I'm starting this little race of flower people that they're not really people, they're like fae, but I didn't want to say they're flower fae because I'm sick of the word fae, I'm sick of the word fairy. Plus, the lore I'm doing for them isn't similar to fairies, really. They are the flowers. They're not among the flowers. So, this one in particular has the luck associated with it. So I'm actually making it where 4-leaf clovers technically aren't lucky. If you catch a clover pip, you're lucky. And that's where the lore got misconstrued and stuff. So, starting my own thing with it, but anyway. It's okay, Spongy. Yeah, I know. We all have mites. We've got the eyelash mites and stuff. So, yeah, everybody has mites. So she's got the antibiotics. She's got the flea and tick, all that stuff going. So she just needs time now to get better. And she's got the cone on. So she just is very upset about it, but so they have more things with them, the pips. So I was gonna do like I have like Lily of the Valley pips and stuff. I'm just trying to figure out some other things about when I use them. Do I combine their names and with Pip, or do I make Pip like this? Anyway, you have mites, Sniggle. Yeah, I try to keep the cone on. Every once in a while, it's so sad. She knocks over her water all the time, so now every time she goes over to either have dinner or get her water, she has a next size up cone too, so she really can't do shit. So I go over when I see her walking and I pick up her bowl and I put it in the cone so she can drink. So part of the good thing about being home all the time is I can do that, but at the same time it's like, okay. Alright. So I've very much simplified this shape. So I'm actually going to go revisit what it looks like. Because I was researching them the other day. And what's interesting is, you know how they look like this, where they look like they've got these little things in them? They're actually like this. Each one has these sort of things. So I'm trying to decide if I want to keep that or if I want to take artistic merit and kind of say, nah, I don't want to do that. And just keep the overall shape, because I think most people, if they saw it, would know, oh, that's that's one of the clover flowers. But it's like, do I want to, But I think I am going to make the white and green one instead of the white and pink one. For reasons. I'll explain that another time. Oh, that's okay, Glitter. My next con is ACEN and then Dragon Con. Technically, I only have 2 more cons this year, which is super nice. I'm very excited about that because I have a shit ton of commissions I gotta get done still. So ACEN is in Chicago. Sorry, Rosemont, which is basically Chicago. It's close. But that's the 17th through the 19th of May. And then Dragon Con is August 29th through, or I think it's the 30th actually. No, maybe it is 4 days. I think it's 4 days. 29 to, no, I think it's the 30th. Sorry. 30th through September 2nd. Because it always ends up on Gabe's birthday. Gabe's birthday is September 2nd. So that one's gonna kind of suck. But that's okay. Because I'm going to be alone doing that one just like I was at Emerald, but it's Dragon Con. Emerald's really easy to do alone because the hotel I was at was literally across the street from the convention. Like, so nice. But Dragon Con, the hotels are like blocks away. So every day I'm going to be walking outside, whatever the heat, with a heavy backpack, dressed as an elf, down to the convention center, which sucks. Thank you, Serenity. I'm glad you agree. Oh, Galactica. Yeah, you should. If you're a fan of cosplay, or just like big conventions, it's great. But like the cosplay aspect is huge for it. So there's that. But you have to not really mind parties. This is the party con, which, again, for me kind of sucks because I'm not a party person, but, you know, I'm still fine. It's just, when I'm in the party hotels, when I'm staying at those can suck. But, sorry, I'm flanking out here on this. That's all. No. Oh, Lord. They changed my stuff. Yes, okay. This is what I wanted. They changed this. Ah! Oh my god, this is all brand new. Man, I just want my taper. That's all I want. No. Weird. They don't even have the taper unless I'm missing it. She fell asleep under my desk now. You can probably hear her even louder now. Wow, okay. This is crazy. I mean, it's great they did all this, but it's totally new. I mean, this was within like a week. Starting and ending. Oh, there we go. Minimum thickness. No. That is so hidden. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, found it. Crazy. And then where was the other one? Ending. There we go. Okay. Weird. Thank you, GoTad. I appreciate that. It is super expensive, Galactica, yeah. Oh no, Serenity, yeah, get some sleep. Thanks for coming. Feel better. Yeah, it's expensive, Galactica, but it is something else. If you want something you've, you know, probably never seen before, Oh my god. Well, this I have to get used to. Okay. Well, that works. Oh! That's set to default. Okay. I usually set my stabilizer in Clip Studio all the way up to 150. Because I'm crazy. Okay, so they have a couple things that stick out, and I really like that. But I don't want too much down here. So, since I want their face to be really visible, I'm not going to carry down the leaflets, I guess? The petals. Sorry, petals. All the way down into their face. Because I want their face to be pretty unencumbered, right? So you can see these beady little cute eyes and all that. Because they do have petals that go all the way down. But like I said, I don't want to do that for design's sake. And that's, sometimes you gotta make those kind of decisions. It's like, as long as the shape and the overall idea of what it is come through, like if I'm able to show this to somebody and I'm like, what flower is that? And they're like, oh, it looks like one of the clover flowers, you know? Then I'm like, okay, nailed it. But if I wasn't doing something right with this and they didn't know what it was, then I'd have to rejig or something. But I think since the overall shape will be similar to them, we'll be okay. Because they have this bulb, right? This main bulb, and then at the top, you know, they kind of come in, and at the sides they have these, and at the bottom they really have like a lot of fanning. So if I have that gradation of fanning, it should come across pretty obvious. And I mean, you can vary how many there are too. So I'm gonna try this with a lot of these, and then we'll see if we need less, because I feel like this is gonna be too much. And I'll have to like, you know, cut down on how many there are. But, so like I said, there are a few that come up, but there are a bunch that go in too. And then this is one of those cases where you probably don't want to draw every single line, okay? One of the things I learned from doing mobile games for so long is omit lines where you can, because when those get reduced, it's going to screw up the silhouette, it's going to confuse the colors, it's going to make everything just blur the more lines you have. So the more simple you can be and only use lines where it's the most detrimental to the shape, that's how you want to go about it. Don't draw everything you see. That's honestly, I feel like a good art thing anyway. Don't draw everything you see. Because, you know, what you choose to draw is going to be part of your style, I feel like, eventually. So, a few. It sounds stupid, but one of my most aha moments with drawing was probably maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. No, it'd be longer. Like 7 or 8 years ago now, where I never took like a formal illustration class where they taught like patterns and repetition of things. Even in my graphic design classes, they never really talked about that. But I learned that when you're doing things like this, even with grass, having like 2 and then 1 and then 2 and maybe 3 somewhere, and just having this system of, you know, a couple different numbers of it really helps to not only vary the space, but to keep it cohesive. So you've got this cohesive piece which feels like everything belongs there, but like, you know, the grass has almost a formula to it, but it's still grass, but it's not distracting because there's not too many blades of grass. You know what I mean? So in this case, it's like I did 1 and then 2 and then 1 and then 2. And I feel like doing that actually can help break up stuff so it's easier to take in. And as long as your textures are good and you know how to do shapes of things to get across what they are, you should be fine. Really, it doesn't take much for someone to notice like what something is. I mean, good textures go a long way, but still. What are you guys up to right now? Sorry, I was in teach mode. Let's see. I don't know why my lighting is still whack. It's really weird. I'll put that over there. Yeah, I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con Galactica. For little guys like us, we really can't go. Gabe used to go, but you really, like I said, you can't really make money if you're a small-time guy. You have to be published, or you have to be a name to get anything out of that con, really. They're not so indie accommodating, you know, where like Emerald City is basically built on the idea of pimping out the indie kids, you know, which is another reason I love that convention. Because I feel like a lot of other cons, you know, are super industry focused, like New York. New York and San Diego are very similar, except I can do a decent, you know, job at New York. Oh God, don't tell me am I still streaming technically? I hope my internet didn't go out again. Someone just pop in an emoji or something. That one time I was talking to myself for 15 minutes sucks. You'll never know that pain till you get there. It's horrible. Hey Wes, what's up? Are you attending C2E2 or are you gonna be tabling? Okay, thank you guys, I appreciate that. Oh really, Emily? It's weird to see me work digitally? Well, I mean, I feel like I gotta at least back up the point that artists nowadays need to kind of be well-rounded too. You need to have the digital specs as well as the traditional, even if you're, you know, super fine art oil painting guy. You know, you need to know how to do some things on the computer. So I think it's good that people do, you know, artists do. What's really funny to me is that you do find it funny because my whole life has basically been digital up until, God, I don't even, 3 years ago. Whenever I started freelancing, it was just all digital. So I am almost better at digital than I am traditional, but I'm giving up that job and, you know, going to do my own thing now, trying to get good at everything. You kind of gotta be. Just attending. Oh, Wes, you'll have to go see Gabe. Gabe will be there. I think he's in the P aisle. That sounds bad, but I think that's really where he is. Which he probably gets a kick out of, knowing Gabe. Weren't you attending last year, though, too? Or did you have a table? I can't remember. I think you were just attending. You guys were walking around. It's true, Emily, and that's why I think it's funny that it's like people do know me strictly for traditional now, which is kind of what I want, but every now and then I can slip out this digital card and they'll be like, what? I don't know, it's cool. Be decent at everything and be really good at one thing. See, that's funny you say that, Sniggle, because it's kind of, you can't do that. You're either a jack of all trades or you're a specialist master, which, being in mobile games, I was a jack of all trades because I had to be. So I really didn't have an identity with my work for as long as I was doing games, because I had to be kind of a style chameleon. You know, they wanted a sports game or they wanted a character physics game. I had to kind of adapt. So when I went home at night, I just kind of drew whatever I felt like, which when you look back at my Instagram, you might see that it's kind of all over the place. There's not really a cohesive style yet. There's a couple mediums that I stuck with, but as far as style, I was everywhere. So now that I'm just doing traditional for the most part, you can kind of see that now I've kind of gotten a style, which helps with what I'm doing. So really it depends on what you're trying to do with your art, your job, because I mean, obviously people who are doing lighting or rigging for companies like Blizzard, that's their thing. They're a specialist. They have to be damn good at that one thing because that's their job, right? They're not supposed to be doing a million other things. They got hired on to do lighting, you know? So I feel like that's part of the other thing of finding out what kind of artist you are. Do you want to be a specialist? Do you want to pour yourself into that one thing and be very good at that one thing? Or are you kind of like me, where that sounds very boring and not you? I'm kind of ADD when it comes to either drawing certain things or using certain mediums or these other things. Like, I have a friend, every time he sees my booth at a con, he rips into me. And, I mean, rightfully so, he's got a really big IP and he's really proud of it and he wants everybody to be like him, but whenever he comes by, he's like, you really got to get more cohesive, you gotta, you know, do this, that, or the other thing. And I feel like anyone starting out would just eat up what he's saying, but since it's me, I don't want to do that. He wants me to do this one style, he wants me to use this one medium forever. It's like, no, my cohesive, like, look is the fact it's fantasy and it's all under the same umbrella, right? If you guys have seen my booth, it's cohesive in that respect. The content matter and the materials I use are all over the place. However, the same colors kind of go throughout, and it is cohesive in that sense. So you don't have to align with anything you don't want to. And yeah, I might do better, honestly, but that's not important to me. What's important to me is doing what I feel like at the time, because to me that's art, you know? If I conform to something, just the word conform isn't an artistic word. You know, you don't usually use that, but taxes, oh, kitchen, God, I hate that word. Taxes for us can be kind of difficult. And yeah, I am so scared to do taxes, but it's okay. I'm prepared this year. It's just, I hate it. It is Pete. Yes, Sniggle, it's Pete. He even took me over to Dragunis's booth. If anybody knows who Dragunis is, he's great. He's fantastic. But Pete took me over to his booth. He's like, you gotta, you know, make your stuff look more like, you know, Dragunis. And he's got, you know, all this, you know, his stuff is like on really nice parchment-looking paper. I think the edges were even burned or something, but it was all ink work, kind of like Jeremy Bastion, but I feel like even Jeremy Bastion will kind of do his own thing. But Dragonis, it was all the same sort of thing, which appeals to someone, you know, and that type of person a bunch. But I feel like, you know, if you're not that type, to be the specialist, you know, and I feel like me being a storyteller is probably the main thing that's different. They're illustrators solely, right? But when I think of illustrations, I'm thinking of the story. I'm not exactly thinking of what the illustration calls for. Where they're thinking of shapes and, you know, flow. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about what someone's going to infer about the story when they see it. So because I'm more focused on that, maybe the illustration honestly won't be as strong in terms of all that technical stuff. But my story, I think, will be a lot more rich. And that's what I care about. And when I do a lot of my stories, you know, I feel like that's what feels the most natural to me. Right now I'm really just doing prints and illustrations to have more at my booth. And I figure some people want a couple of them, but until I get the books stacked up, my booth will probably eventually just be books. Maybe a couple bookmarks and maybe a print or two that have to do with the books. But eventually the illustrations will fade out because they're in the books, you know? That sort of thing. But thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. And thank you, May Fox. I do too, Emily. Diversity at a booth can be kind of fun. As long as, you know, you can tell it's that artist. When it's too varied, it could be different artists. But that's why I feel like it's important to have that cohesion with the aesthetic that's encompassing the work. That's why I have the whole tree booth, right? But some people's booths at cons, like, oh God, especially if you're ever sharing a booth or a table with somebody, make sure that there's a very distinct line between the two of you, or people are going to be asking you for their stuff, and vice versa. It's going to be crazy. So you have to have that, you know, absolute divider in there. I like that artist work, but that's his thing. That's his thing. Exactly, Sniggle. You get it. You get it. Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, I respect Pete like crazy. I really do. He's done a lot in the time I've known him. He's come really far, and he's created some really amazing properties, honestly. But when it comes to, you know, creating your own image of what you want to be and be seen by other people, I feel like you can get tips from people. Like you could take my branding workshop, you could take my con mentorship, but what's really going to do it in the end is you knowing what you want to look like. Because I remember before I was tabling, when I was shadowing Gabe, I was behind his booth and I was drawing out what I wanted my booth to be. And before I even knew anything of what I was drawing, I knew I wanted kind of like a fantasy motif, ideally a tree, you know, and I was dressed like an elf. That was all I had to go off of. I even had my ideal like costume that I'd wear. And, you know, it was that early. It's like, you know you best, you know? You know what's best for you, right? So, I mean, take what people say and be like, cool, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'll explore it. You know, tell me you'll explore it. And then, you know, like Pete was also telling me, sell prints of your pet and armor pieces. And at first I bucked him just because I didn't feel right about it. And it didn't seem good to do. And I had a gut feeling about it. But I entertained his idea. And I went around and I asked people that I had done the pet portraits for. I think some of you, even Emily, I had asked. And I was like, how would you feel about this? You know, if I made and sold prints of your commission of your pet. Because even me saying it, I'm like, no way. That feels wrong. It's different selling a book with them in it, because then they feel like, you know, it's a collective piece. It's sold as a whole. It's not my baby being wanted, right? Which feels like a totally different place, you know? But anyway, so he had suggested I do that, and I went and asked people, and they were like, no, that's weird. And I'm like, I know, right? Okay, so we agree. But I went into it with them knowing, like, not what I was thinking, but regardless, like, non-biased. But yeah, it's weird how there's a difference there. And I totally get it. If I had a commission that, you know, someone did of my dog, I'd be fine if it were in a book. But if they wanted to sell it alone, I'd be like, Kitchen, no. My ears are actually attached to my face. With, I use the spirit gum. So they're actually attached to my ear. My headband's separate. It's just, it's part of it. I feel like my outfit is usually three main things. It's the ears, the headband, and typically the necklace. But since I'm wearing this poncho, you wouldn't have seen it anyway. Oh, good, May Fox. Yeah, you have to kind of think about your table as almost UI. And I think my background in games really helped me with that because I was able to actually section out everything as a digestible, okay, this is this section, this is that. I mean, that's just, marketing kind of 101, right? And having less is more. If you have too much stuff, which my booth is bordering on right now, and I feel it. I totally feel it. When you get somebody who comes up to your booth and they're kind of like, I don't know where to look, or there's too much stuff, you can feel it. So it's like a portfolio where less is more. Be sure to put your best stuff out, newest stuff too. So it's weird because you don't want to put out everything at your booth. You want to make sure what you put out is kind of your newest, best stuff. Even if you just had like 5 things on the table, really, sometimes that's better than having 20, right? So, anyway. Right, Emily? Like, I feel so weird about that. I still am like, nope, I could never do that. I could never make prints of someone's pet. And it's funny because I have example prints that I have out on the table of the pet and armor pieces that I use as a selling point for, like, what the sizes look like, kind of the content that's within them. They serve a bunch of purposes, but they're sitting on the table. And people always think they're part of the print wall, so they're like, I want that one, and that one. I'm like, oh no, this is not included in that. This is part of this. And I, show it, because they're right in the middle of my table, right in front of me, so I can easily grab them. But people are always like, oh, okay, never mind, I just really thought it was cool and I wanted it and blah, blah. I'm like, that's fine, but, I'd feel weird selling someone's pet. And they usually say, oh, I get it. I totally get it, so, I don't know. Attaching ears is hard, but I do it so often. I found out when you do attach the ears, I always do the left side first for me, and then I get that to an angle I like, which is usually like my face going this way. It kind of mimics my jawline, because I feel like that's what they would have done if they grew in normally. And then I take the other one. The main thing is when you put your head back, and I kind of screwed up with these this time, you want them to actually be even. Right? Even here and even there. And you move them around. You've got some leeway with, when it's drying to do that. So that's the time I do it. Hey, Artemis! Having the foliage. I've actually heard that a bunch of times. Like when they look at the banners and stuff, if they see little leaves, they're like, oh, there she is. Okay, go over there. So that's great. I'm happy about that. And I've thought about upgrading my booth a bit too, but if you upgrade it, it just means more to bring on a plane. And I went over this time. I'll give you a little insight into flying with merch and stuff. So for all I've got 2 vinyl panels that are about 3 feet by 6 feet each, which it's not too bad because I put them in a mic stand bag, but they're a little heavy because they're vinyl. And then I have another 12-inch by 3 feet banner, and then a 2 by 3 foot banner. So all those fit in my mic stand bag. And then I have to vacuum, suck out vacuum bag my leaves, which don't stay vacuum sealed because TSA always thinks it's drugs. So that's always funny. But those are in the bag as well with the vinyl banners. And then I have a photo booth rigging. That's heavy. That's two things on either side of me and one across that I hang the banners off of. And then you have to bring all your books. And depending on what con it is, I try to bring 10 books or less, and then if I run out, I take pre-orders. Because there's no way I'm bringing 20 books to a con anymore. And if I add more books, if I get more stories, this is more for me to carry. So I either have to phase out a book I'm carrying, which I'm probably going to have to phase out my sketchbook that I'm selling, and add in the new thing, right? And then you've got original art, you've got framed pieces. If you ever have any framed pieces that you have to take on an airplane, put them in your carry-on, because at least with your carry-on, you're always with it and you know exactly what's happening with it at all times. Do not put your framed pieces in a checked bag. So anyway, my mic bag, my microphone stand bag that I use for anything but a microphone, and my big checked bag, I have to check both those. And if you're not flying Southwest where you get baggage free, those are each $35, so that's $70. And then my black luggage, which is my big one, that has my books and stuff in it, that always goes over. The max is 50, yet I usually go to 65, 75 pounds. So that's an extra $100 just for going over. So to bring my bags on a plane, one way, it's $170. Okay? Had to pay that on the way back too. So already that's a money sink. Then there's the table price, right? And that can be upwards of $400 depending on where you're going. And then there's your hotel. My hotel this weekend at Emerald was $1,300. So you have to make sure where you're going, you're gonna get that back. And that can take some trial and error at the beginning of your con journey. You know, you're gonna have to try some cons. You're gonna lose some money. So usually I say like have some backup plan, like have another job or something else that's at least letting you pursue that a bit so you can figure it out. But it's expensive. And then food, luckily it was just me this time, so it was maybe $100. I try to not eat out when I can, so usually it was just maybe once a night for dinner. Otherwise I'm eating like Nutri-Grain bars and crap all day. So it can be crazy. Yeah, kitchen, I was sad I couldn't see you, but I also didn't want you to be sick. That sounded horrible. Yeah, Emily, I would if I could, like the animals in armor normally. Really, all I would probably do is take a couple of the ones I've already done that I know people like, because I get asked about them a lot, and just do, like if they're a fire mage, I'll do, you know, a water mage or something. Stuff like that, but yeah, no, I feel you. Yes, Sniggle. We did. We found a new place. Ask Gabe what the link is. I still don't remember, but we haven't done an order with them yet, so I don't know about the quality. I know the process is basically the same as Printy was. They have a nice ordering system and basically the same thing, but like I said, I have no idea how the quality is yet. So until we actually get an order, I'll let you know about that. But print pusher. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to be a book pusher. Do you get to pick? So when you get a table at a con, first of all, majority of cons, probably about 90% of them are juried. They're going to look at your stuff. They're going to look at, you know, what level you're at, how you are in like the internet sphere, if you've got a lot of fans and stuff, and they jury you in. So you may or may not get in already. Sometimes you might be waitlisted, which means if somebody who gets in pulls out, you might get put in. So every time somebody's like, are you going to be here next year? I'm like, I don't know. If they let me in, sure. And some of the shows, the more you do them, the more seniority you get. The best example of that is actually Heroes Con, where they literally, and I'll show you real quick. So Heroes Con is literally set up like this, where the middle is like all the people that have been there a lot, and then they have these outskirts ones where the farther out you go, the newer you are. So I did it for the first time last year. I ended up like out here, okay? And it's really weird because I guess people gravitate towards the middle, but there are lanes here and here that open up to all these aisles, so I don't even know. Heroes is a little bit funky, and it wasn't, I didn't make enough to, you know, go back. It was cheap to at least go to, but it was not a good con overall. Hold on. Bro! You go that one. Told you to go the other door. Remember?
I thought you meant that door.
What?
I thought you meant that door.
No, I told you to go the So, you also don't get to choose where you sit. You can request to be next to people or not next to people, but you can't choose where in the actual like area you can get. I guess maybe if you're high enough and you like know people, you could maybe sway them to be like, well, I like this area by the door, can I have it, blah blah blah. Maybe you could, but usually you don't get to choose like the actual location, but you can choose to be next to people. However, we started to not request to be next to each other because we found out it actually kind of negatively affects us, because there's this thing called the skip effect that Gabe and I kind of swear by, where if somebody buys something from you, they kind of skip the next person or two because they're either putting things away or they're not paying attention, they're talking to the person next to them. So typically, I'm not saying all the time, someone would buy something from me and then totally just skip Gabe, right? So it actually hurt him being next to me. And it, you know, we also were never meeting anyone new, you know, and we never leave our tables, so might as well be next to someone new if you're never going to leave your table, right? So we ended up doing it that way instead. Yes, Gabbo is home. Gabe, say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Somebody call me O-Bag earlier?
Hobag?
O-Bag? Or Bago?
No. When?
When I messaged.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I didn't even know you
Instagram.
were in the chat till way later.
Oh.
Like, I never even read that you were like, check your phone. But then once I did, I got kind of like, oh my god, he's watching me. But yeah. She's been sleeping most of the time.
Good.
Yeah. However, she did ring the bell like 5 times earlier.
Yeah. While you're streaming?
No,
Oh.
no. Before the stream, I took her out like twice, and then, you know, we came in, and then while I was getting ready, she did it like 3 more times. I was like, I know you don't have to go to the bathroom.
Mama, we're outside.
Sniggle, it was me. It's always you. It's always you. But here, I'm gonna show you guys this. So you know how I was saying that these don't have just normal petals like this? They actually come down and then they have these little, like that's one petal that has all these little things on it. It's really weird because they look like they're just one petal each, but they're actually made up of these other ones. Of course they have a name on them, but whatever. She just wanted fresh air. She wanted to look at the construction men is what she wanted to do. I took her for a walk too, but, well, not construction guys. I guess they're HOA guys. They're going around cleaning up twigs. So, she has this thing where she just completely forgets about anything she went outside for and will just stare at people. It was really weird. I actually thought this guy was going to steal her from me while I was taking her for a walk. Because he crossed the street and he's like, oh, hi! And she's freaking out. And he started following me and I'm like, oh, are you going over there? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. But like, I read this story the other day. I'm in a bunch of bulldog groups because they have good info and stuff. But this person tried to steal this woman's Frenchie just from her. Like, he was like, oh, can I see him? You know, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, I mean, you can pet him. And the guy tried to grab him and run. Like, I mean, people know they're expensive dogs, so sometimes people just try to steal them. That's why you're never supposed to leave them outside either, because people will just lift them. Like, we can't leave any of the types of bulldogs outside because someone will just all out take them. It's really weird. It is sad. It makes me real sad. Okay, well, I think she's ready for color. What are you doing, honey? Well, you want more water? Give me a second. I'm gonna go help her with the water. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Here. Get you some fresh stuff first. And I'll hold it for you. And I fed her this way too, and she ate all of it. So I think the reason she doesn't eat it all is because she can't. So I've been just holding it for her. Every time I see her come over here, I just hold her and let her get it all. How was setting up? Did you run into anybody?
Well, basically talked to Moorbacher the entire time.
Oh, I was talking about Pete too. That's hilarious. Yeah, kidnapping puppies, right? It's super sad. I mean, if they kidnap humans, people are kidnapping puppies too. Hey, Sarah. Where was Pete then? So Elaine must have been running his table at Emerald.
Yeah, she basically does that full time now. She gets salary now.
Except C2E2, is he doing his own?
No, he's like, he's trying to be as hands off as possible, so.
Oh. So he just talked to you while you set up?
Yeah.
Silly. And he was the only one you saw?
Yeah.
Mm. I'm gonna need... Sometimes I don't know if my characters are actually standing slanted or not, so I usually bring up a ruler then. She might need to go outside. If you don't mind. There we go. Okay. So that actually works, that's fine. We'll be alright. So I'm gonna put this in another spot and I'm gonna take it over to Photoshop. Photoslop. Weird when it's not there, it's like boost account. Yeah, I feel you, Emily. I wouldn't personally do it, but a lot of people do because, like in Pete's case, he's big enough to where he doesn't need to go himself. We have maybe 2 more people who do that too. Tim actually does that, and Pooey does that sometimes. They'll have proxies that go, right? And I mean, some cons don't allow that. Like they say, hey, it needs to be you, but some of them get around that. And sometimes you need to get around that. And it's not because you're big or anything, you just need to get there. It's okay, honey. But yeah, I feel like as an attendee, if you're going and you're a fan and you don't see your artist that you went there for, that would suck. Like, I'd be actually pretty mad.
Really?
Honestly. Honey, go see Papa. Go see him. He's Papa. We should decorate that to look like a flower. So, Emily, I totally feel you on that. I agree. I think it's a little strange. But, like, sometimes they'll have 2 booked. I know sometimes Tim will do this. He'll go to one and he'll send a friend to the other one. So they can, get more places. And I mean, when this is your full-time job, if you skip a con sometimes, that's like, a couple months of rent and whatever. So, go for it, Sarah. I'd say start either to a small con or a medium con. 8 months, May Fox, thank you. Here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Enjoy your nub rub wish.
Come here.
Come on, Mushy, go outside with Papa. He wants to take you outside. She's checked out. Oh no. She hasn't gotten used to it. She already outgrew her smaller cone, so we had to get her a bigger one. And she's not used to how big this one is yet. So,
Come here.
go outside.
You want a treat?
Maybe go ring the bell so she knows. Yeah, the customer side totally sucks, Emily. I'm with you on that. I don't think it's fair. A lot of the time, though, if they do have that, they'll say, I'm not going to be at this con, but my proxy blah, blah, blah will. And sometimes artists can actually work the proxies into like their brand. So they're like friends and stuff, and people actually kind of like, oh yeah, blah blah's here, I love them. So it can be cool. So they're excited for someone, you know. But yeah, as a fan, if you're going to see the artist, it sucks. Yeah, I feel you, Artemis. I was next to a girl that did that this past weekend. They were both co-running her booth, and she would, you know, disappear to go eat lunch, you know. So sometimes if they say they'll be back or they had just gone for lunch, you can swing back around and you can meet them. Other times, though, they'll say, oh yeah, they're not here at this one, you know, I'm in their stead. In that case, then yeah, they're probably not coming back around for at all, you know. Are you taking her out? She didn't want to go out? Oh, Grandma.
Come on, let's go potty. You go potty? Yeah?
Sometimes she gets too lazy where she doesn't want to go ring the bell. So she'll just be like,
Go on. Come on. Let's go potty. Go on.
she's still really tired. Vaccinations apparently knock you down a couple pegs. Okay, so right now, what I'm doing is I'm making a mask for all of the things I'm going to be coloring with this, and this is, you can see right here, I masked it, so it's actually the shape of the Clover pip, and then I will be coloring in here. Now I'm going to have to do a couple different, probably test prints of this, mainly because my monitors are all a little bit off from the printer, and I want to make sure I get the colors I want, so that's one of those necessary evils sometimes you have to do, just because it's like, well, you know, I want to, like, looking at my screen now and looking at the screen up there, that's way off. Let me see if I can adjust it so you guys can see what I see at least. And she rang the potty bell. We bell trained her, so she at least rings the bell when she needs to potty. Okay. I don't want to know the brightness exactly. That's about right. Oh, that sucks, Emily. We had to get up a little earlier than normal for her vet visit, but it's nothing I can even complain about. So, I was tired for a little bit, but usually doing this gets me talking to people, so. hope your doctor visit went well, Are you due early April or late April? Because, we're gonna have your commissions to you, but, I want to make sure. I love this pet. Aw, Kitchen! I'm happy you like her. I think it's a her, I don't know. I'm glad you like them. Were you signed up on my Patreon? I totally forgot. You don't have to answer that. Duh. Privacy stuff, blah. Don't worry about it. Oh, thanks, Jazzy. You're a sweetheart. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, I thought of it while I was behind the booth at Emerald, so I'm excited about it. You know what? I am such a sucker for like really smooth gradients, so I'm gonna do it using the gradient tool. How you been, Jazzy? You been good? I'm gonna take this and then go around and do something like that. Let's do 100. Actually, I'm going to instead do a mask, so if I do want to change this later, it's not permanent. Let's do 30 actually. And doing test prints also for this wouldn't be good because then I can actually see if what I'm doing can be seen at a small size. There is that thing that I think I showed a few of you before where you can go to view and then, where was it? Was it view? Oh my god, it's been so long since I did this. Maybe it's because I've got a... Oh. Here we go. Okay, sorry. Go to window, arrange, and then new window for this. What that does is it actually makes a legitimate new window. So what this is good for, and why I would say to use this instead of the navigator, even if you have the navigator, sometimes that doesn't, it's not as true as opening another window would be. So I can actually make this one really small and put it over here so that while I'm actually painting, I can figure out if the lines I make do anything. So as you can see, these two lines here don't even show up over there, right? I mean, that may be a little bit too small, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, you want to still be able to see it. So if I do one like this, that one you can actually see over there. So, oh, let's catch up. Oh, that's crazy, Emily. I hope it's exciting. Oh no, Kitchen. I understand. No worries. You'll find something. I have no worries that you won't. You'll find something. You're good. Oh, good. Emily, I appreciate that. We're really gonna try though. I mean, I've tried to budget time at least for yours. I'm gonna have to brush up with our emails again though to make sure I know exactly what you wanted again. Because I know there are things you did want and things you didn't want, so. Wow, Jazzy, that's great. Tomorrow's your birthday. Oh, happy early birthday, Jazzy. Museum of Natural History. Whoa, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, it was a really good show. I did do an entire breakdown right away in the beginning of the stream, so if you do watch it, it's right away. So it was kind of a mixed bag. I was one of the lucky ones, we'll say. But usually Emerald's great. Usually. Oh, hey, Kay. Here.
Oh.
So you can look. I won't, Emily. You know me. I like clarification more than anything.
I was going to put Terry Dodson on the cover again.
How many has he been on the cover every year?
No, but he's been on it a few times.
Mm.
I think that was Terry.
All right, Sarah. We'll see you later. All right. Take care. Enjoy writing. What's she doing?
She knows.
You got a stick? Whoa. Today is crazy. It sucks because some of these have these, but some don't. I guess I'll try it anyway.
No more.
So Emily, we'll probably be getting around to them next week. I know that's pushing it, but Gabe is obviously at C2E2 this weekend, so he's going to be booked up doing that. Maybe you could do it at night, I guess.
Well, I won't be home. So
No,
really,
but, you
No,
were
no.
going to paint it, weren't you?
yeah, I won't have anywhere to do it.
Right. So, probably next week. But you know us, we won't, like, rush anything if we know it'll be less than what we want. She still chewing a stick? Damn, she got a fat ass. See, look at this. Look at that rump.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, she's getting so big so quick. Have fun doing sword stuff, Snag. Enjoy. Oh, that's good though, Jazzy. I mean, that's pretty much primarily how Gabe works. He'll sketch something either digitally or regular and then print it out and then ink it and then scan it again, print out the inks, and then, you know, he ends up with like 3 different phases that he can either sell or work with, you know. Cool, Emily. I'm glad you think so. We'll try though. Don't worry about that. We'll try. I've got basically an April deadline for about 8 of my commissions from what's it called? Gen Con. Still. So I'm trying to get through those, but once I get to a good place on those, I'll switch over to your stuff. Mushy, what are you doing? Why does that keep coming out black? That is the weirdest thing. I've never seen that before. Oh, thank you, Emily. Yeah, honestly, as far as printers go, Kitchen, you do not need a great, amazing, crazy one. How much are those now? Like $200?
These?
Yeah.
Like 150.
Yeah, you can get a really nice all-in-one for $150. That's damn good quality. I mean, you don't have to do too much.
You don't even need to get this one. You can just get like it's like a less than $100 for a good printer.
Yeah, if you already have a scanner, you can get a fine printer. Like, it's to the point where technology now is so, like, everything's good except the stuff that's really good. And the stuff that's really good is, like, thousands of dollars. Maybe back in the day, like, early 2000s, things were a little bit more, well, this is obviously better than this, you know, but now, nah, not as bad.
I mean, you can get a good printer, a good cheap printer for like $30 even.
Yeah, that's true. What are you doing? She hasn't gotten to play too much today. So if you find time, you might want to, especially since you're not going to be here. Did you end up doing your print sign?
No, I don't.
Because I saw your little note.
Yeah.
How much much was parking, or was it free because it was later?
$23.
Eh,
Yeah. For 2 hours.
$23 for 2 hours.
Yeah. Welcome to Chicago, man.
Yeah, okay. So, Ren's parking every day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll still have to pay him for
Well,
driving me there, but
give him like, I mean, obviously $10.
hopefully we can just, hopefully we can, I'll figure out how much Uber is going to be, but I think he's going to stay with me. And then there's free parking at my sister's, so we'll just Uber back and forth. Or
Yeah, I think that would be cheaper, wouldn't it? How close is it?
maybe.
Is it less than 20?
Yeah, it'll be like 20 minute drive.
I mean, I think it was 20 minutes to the airport in Seattle, and it was like $30.
Yeah, but that's like from an airport to the city. Like they'll charge you more just for going to the airport.
Oh, I meant the other way around, but I mean, I guess they charge you no matter what, so yeah.
I thought she was sleeping. Were you sleeping or no?
She doesn't know. Did she lose a toy?
No.
She being fussy? Oh yeah. See, I had to do that earlier. Her cone is so big she can't even really play with toys herself, so we've been like holding them while she chews them. It's cute, but it's also sad. You can tell she's like a little bit hurt that she can't hold her own toy. So everything went smoothly?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. How'd you run into Pete? Just happenstance?
Yeah, he was floating on.
She's being a little gremlin. She does make the best noises. Okay. I'm gonna look up an actual Clover now. My one fear with this is that it's gonna be too many, or not enough colors, I guess. Because if I do it how it is, it's all like the same green. I forgot to tell you what one of my current fantasies is. You want me to tell you?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking over the weekend, I was like, it'd be great to get to a point where we get like 2 gaming PCs and we just play Final Fantasy online, and we have the time to do it, and nothing hurts. You know?
Yeah.
We can do it without worrying about like owing someone something.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, that's a far off one though.
Also, I think at this point,
Yeah.
we could probably get like a, you know, like a basic
That's what I'm
computer,
thinking.
and
It'd be
it's
cheap.
fine.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? We could just do that.
Yeah,
That's not a big deal.
especially like a, you know, like It's not like we're trying to run it on like.
No, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I was like, we could just buy cheap ones, even laptops. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like your Surface would probably be fine. It just sucks they don't run it on Mac.
Yeah, it's kind of sorry that they haven't done that yet.
It's just I miss playing MMOs, man. It's just no time, none for anything. I barely have time to draw for myself.
You know what? Also,
What?
I'd love to be able to start a game with you that you don't know everything about already.
Yeah, good luck with that, son. Yeah, no, that's true. And we haven't been able to game together for a long time, so it would be nice to get that back. It's just we've been scrambling to just keep making money for a couple years now, you know, and I don't know, like I said, I did great at Emerald, but when I say that, you should know that means I have at least another year's worth of work behind me. So, unlike other artists who sell their stuff and they're just done, like, I'm not. Like, my work hasn't even started yet. So, as I'm getting orders, as nice as it is to make money, each time someone gets one from me, I'm like, okay, here's another 8 to 12 hours of my life, you know? And it feels a little bit heavy, you know? And at this point, I'm almost getting used to the guilt, which is a really weird feeling to get used to. Like, I've had to ask some people for multiple extensions because last year we moved 3 times, and I feel awful about it, but what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna give them a crappy portrait, you know? So I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but this happened. However, I'm lucky in the fact that majority of people are very understanding, so that's really nice. Oh, you missed your mama? Can you clean her eye off? It's got some goobs.
I feel like it's gonna get very warm in here. So.
Yeah, if you want to close that, feel free. Oh, I turned up the heat to 69.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so turn it back down to like 67. Because you know I get cold when I straighten. Yeah. So.
I think we definitely should get those. What you were saying, like, we need blackout ones?
Not for out here, no.
No?
No. Out here stays this lit. It'll be good for us. And we have to remember to pat instead of, like, you know, her face. She's gotten to the point with her comb where she just runs into things. And she just doesn't care. It's pretty funny. Because at first she's like, oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Ugh. Now she doesn't give up. Like, she just runs into everything. Oh, if you want your clothes, they're in the dryer. If you want your clothes back. There's a new John Wick 3 trailer, too. It's basically the same as the second one, but he's good. We're a sucker for those movies. Oh, cute, Emily, really? What are you doing? Oh, she's trying to pick it up and she can't because she's stepping on it. Oh, you poor puppy. We had a lot of fun playing with that earlier because that's one of the things she can actually, like, have control over. So she enjoys that.
She's very sluggish right now.
Yeah, I think she's excited, but she's still knocked out from the vaccination. You know, I want to introduce a color into this palette that's not supposed to be a part of it, but I don't know if I should. So I'm going to try it. What?
Purple?
No, it is going to be a yellow. Since they have appendages. Oh, that looks weird. No, I don't like that. Maybe I'll just make it like a lighter version of the green. Oh yeah, that's not
Green
bad.
yellow?
Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. That should be darker though.
It kind of looks from afar.
Yeah.
It looks like he's like, oh no.
He is kind of like, oh
Yeah, the
no.
little things on his neck.
These?
They're like, not, huh?
These? Like.
Yeah, it's like, oh jeez. It's like
Maybe
like
if
that.
it was like, you know. Oh!
Well, now he doesn't. But I mean, it looks like one of those like squiggly lines, like,
Whoa,
oh
whoa,
no, yeah,
Oh.
like a good grief.
I just didn't want to do too much green, but honestly, so how they really look, if you guys look at this one, and this is a white and green one, there are some that are fully pink, some that are pink and white, and then some that are fully white. I wanted to do the fully white because I'm thinking of the future of this character slash, you know, merchandise, and I feel like pink would be too close to my other stuff. I have a pin that's the same exact colors, and it's like I don't want another pink, green, and white pin, you know, or the like. So, oh, get mad. And then Clovers have the zigzag patterning. So I'm going to try to bring that through. Are you mad, Mushy? Why are you mad? I love talking to her about her assumed problems. Mushy, what's wrong? Was everything horrible? She's such a grandma. Where are your pills? She's a talker. She's literally just laying on the ground making these noises. You're such a drama queen.
Yeah, what's the thing?
I ask my fish every day if he had a good day. Aww. You know, I feel like that's one of those things where if you made a comic about it, it'd be just panels of him sitting there and then you leaving eventually and stuff and coming back and leaving, and then he's like, good. Like that was his day. Good. Just took a while for him to get to it. I like it. I think it's cute. Okay. Hey. Chit. Mushy.
Please refrain yourself.
Madam, if you would.
No.
Well, she had a very fancy lunch. I gave her some new, which is banana, and a touch of nutter, which is peanut butter. His name is Pigeon, that's right. I remember your fish named Pigeon. I love this. Okay, so I want there to be zigzags. Because apparently on a lot of clovers there are zigzags. It sounds like sometimes she's trying to say words. Lisa, thank you for the follow. Gabe. Have fun at the con.
Thank you.
Goodness. Where's my... You have a wonderful weekend too, Em. I'll let you know where we are in our schedule, but we're going to still try to hit the deadline for you. She's going into the red. No. Madam, if you could abstain from being a thought.
What?
Excuse me. This is not the time or place. Mushy. Yeah, play tug. She loves tug. Let's see. Was there anything else that happened on your journey, Gabe?
No.
It's pretty uneventful. Okay, so it's outside the clipping mask. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I think I'm gonna put more down there. Goodness, I love this design. It's so fun. You know, maybe I'll make this into one of my emojis. I'll just use this for a lot of things because I really enjoy it. So maybe I'll do that. Gus, what are you up to today? Do you have a screaming toddler next to you as well? No worries, all commissions are actually a source of stress. But, I mean, really, like, you find the fun in all of them, but they are stressful, but you know how it's not the, like, it's not necessarily the horrible stress. I mean, there is good stress and bad stress, you know? It's stress, but it's also money. And really, does money ever come without stress? No. So, I mean, even if you think about it, even if you got free money, wouldn't you always think there's gonna be, like, something at some point that's, like, gonna come get the money back? I don't know. I always think that, like, maybe it's good for now, but... I might turn this around, actually. Because now I'm starting to see these as pants instead of just like a poncho. So that means that line shouldn't be there. And I'm going to reverse it. So I'm going to actually make it so if somebody thinks they're pants, they could be pants. If they want to think of it like a poncho, it could be a poncho. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Oh, Emily. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sure it won't be that long. Mushy. Who's that? Who's outside? Maybe she wants to go watch the colors. Aw, Kitchen. You're so sweet. Are you feeling better, by the way? You guys are seeing me kind of do my little thought process here, because I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but nothing, for sure. So, this is the process. Trial and error. See how it goes. Oh, God. The Moo, aka the dog, has taken up watching people outside. So she's kind of a voyeur now, but she seems to enjoy it and have fun.
It's funny, our neighbor wears a helmet while she's riding her bicycle.
That's funny?
Well, the other one doesn't.
Oh.
The little blonde girl?
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm like...
Living on the edge. That's hardcore, man. Ain't no one telling her what to do. Damn, why aren't my keystrokes working? Oh, there we go. Okay. not 40. Why does that keep happening? Hold on, guys. Sorry. 40. Okay. 70. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you slapping her belly?
My belly.
Oh. Was it driving her crazy?
Hey.
You guys hear that? Gabe's slapping his belly. Because that's what you do nowadays. Damn it, it's still at 70. Okay, well this isn't... So I'm trying to get the actual color here. And then doing it this way, but also not... You know what? I'm gonna cheap out. Banana bites.
Got an orange by some.
You should yell out, "It's an orange, not a banana, asshole."
I even go as far as tangerine.
How dare you, madam? Or run out with an orange, hold it up to it. Is it this color? Is it?
Did I stutter?
Maybe they meant banana seed. Can't tell if I like this yet. Oh no, kitchen. Hi, DHT. Oh no. Take your allergy meds now, kitchen. Get ahead of it. So you were just sick. You shouldn't be sick again. That's awful.
How many minutes?
What?
How long do you think it'll be before DHC says something? You ever say something?
No.
I want to know what DHT. Where did you get my picture from? Or what reference were you looking at for my picture? 'Cause that one looks familiar.
I think I'm actually going to... I don't like how blank this area is. So I'm going to put something in there. I know this is all super simple. And okay, the nice thing though about doing things that are going to reduce is you don't have to be as exact with stuff as long as it looks good when it's small. That is a really nice thing. And this is too dark.
Hey. Nobody likes that.
Don't be a crier, Moo. Oh, see, that looks better. Let's bring that up that high.
Your fans have spoken and told you to shut up. Can you be quiet?
Oh, good lord. I like that you keep like making threatening noises. Like, don't you dare! Don't do it! That's a beat. Oh. I have to go to the bathroom, and I doubt Gabe wants to draw right now, so I'll be right back. Do you want to hold her up for people? Because I told her how big she got. Oh, she wants to play. All right, never mind. Play with her, because she really wants to play. You might have to like, might have to take her outside and kick her on the block. Actually, that's probably what she would really want. It's like another walk. When I take her for walks, I take the cone off. She's fine. Plus, it makes her happy to look for sticks. Okay. Hi. You guys still there? Still alive? Still going? Okay. I'm just gonna try this. Nope. Goodness. Nope. Actually, maybe. Hey, Kristen, what's up? How you doing? Oh, was it their after school thing? I forget what you said they do. It wasn't gymnastics, I don't think. Gabe, can you close the door? It's really cold. Thank you.
Hey.
You gonna take her for a walk?
Yeah.
Mushy! Do I say Camina or Camina? I say Camina. Camina! Hey! Mushy! You wanna go? Camina? Camina? Yeah, she wants to go. Just pop off the lid though. Oh, Taekwondo, that's right. Hey! That's great. What show are you gonna be at? Is it like a local art fair? Really, Kitchen? Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. It's hard because I'm trying to decide how dark to go with some things, how light to go with others. It's like I said, it's tough because I don't want to go too dark, too light. But it's also like I haven't done digital in a while, so I'm also rusty. But go for a Camina. Camina. Go with Papa. Go get him. Get him, Mushy. Get him. You get a stick. You love sticks. Her face is starting to smush so much.
Come on. Come on. Girl.
These little bean arms. See, it's like you can kind of see it, but you also can't. I might also get rid of these. I don't know.
Come on. Come on.
I'll get rid of this too. Let's see what that looks like. I'm glad you enjoy seeing it, Kitchen, because sometimes I feel dumb for not knowing. You know, those might just be adding extra confusion, so maybe I won't. think I need those ones though. Oh, that's great. I'm glad, because for someone like me, sometimes I'm like, well, I mean, I'm sure you appreciate seeing it, but it's also frustrating. Like, if I were watching it, I think I'd be more frustrated than entertained. And while we're on the topic, do you guys know anyone that says frustrated instead of frustrated? I had a friend that always said frustrated, and I wanted to pop her every time. It's like, it's frustrated, lady. Oh, good. I'm glad. That's helpful. And it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes the simplicity drives me nuts, but I also love it. It's, you know, because I'm like, should I add more to his face? Or its face? And I was like, nah, I mean, no. I don't think so. It's fine. The only thing I'm wondering about is color on the face. If I should add something with that. I mean, I added yellow, but I don't know if it's enough. And then I was like, I could add some form to it if I wanted to. All I'd have to do is do something like this, and then he's got a nose, technically. You know? And I thought about adding a mouth. I was like, no, I don't like mouths. Mouths are overrated. But then it looks like a monkey, and I hate monkeys. I almost just like it being kind of like it is. Maybe I'll add a little bit of a shadow. Maybe I can do that. Let's see if I can. And sometimes I just like painting with gradients. Ever since I saw a bunch of other artists do that a long time ago, and after I started using markers, I understood that honestly, a good gradient will carry you really far in a piece. You can literally paint solely with gradients if you want, and it'll still look good. It's really strange. And every time I make a change, I look up here to see how it looks when it's reduced. Good old mobile game tip. I'm frustrated. Oh no, you guys, no! I have a friend too who says, especially. I've told him a million times, he knows he does it, and I think he just doesn't give a rip, you know? And it's like, you know what, if you don't care, then it's, you know, whatever. It's just funny, because it's like they know, but they don't want to fix it. It's like, oh, alright, well. So that rounds out the face a bit more, but at the same time it also darkened it a bit too much. So, let's see. I do a lot of the masking here for this reason, where I can try and then put it back again, especially with gradients. So you want to use masks a lot when using gradients, because you may or may not like what you do, and if you know you do something with the gradient and it's permanent, you can't go back. It's a gradient. Gradients are hard as hell to replicate, you know? So. Oh, that doesn't look too bad, actually. Not coming in like that, so maybe. Fade it a little. I don't hate that. And then without it, yeah. I do like that better. I mean, does he never change it, Kitchen? Like, you're like, hey, you did it again. He'd be like, oh! Does he say he's sorry, or does he say, whatever? So now that Gabe's not here, I can talk behind his back. The thing he does that drives me nuts, and it sucks because he can't help it, he cannot hear. I feel like he legitimately needs a hearing aid. Like, I have to repeat things sometimes 3 times because he's like, what? Like, it's bad. I feel so bad because I think it's like legitimately cannot hear. So I can't get mad about it, you know? It's not like frustrated where there's a, you know, right and a wrong. Oh, I'd pop him, Kitch. I'd pop him. You're like, bro, you know what you're doing. Quit it. But you guys know Gabe. It's like, I can't get mad at Gabe. Can't get mad at Gabe anyway, let alone something he can't help himself over. Poor guy. Oh, your husband does too? Yeah, why do they have hearing loss? What happened? No. You know what, Jazzy? Maybe you're right. Maybe the people that do that have it. Like, I know sometimes I say photography. Photography? I don't say photography. That feels like it's a specific type of photography. But I don't say photography. You know? I've got that Midwest drawl, but I don't say anything like that. Oh no. You know, Jazzy, but Gabe does that too, because English is Gabe's second language technically, but I guess now it's his first. But he grew up in a, like, Spanish immersion 100%, so he had to actually go to a speech therapist. I forget for how long, but he has a lisp sometimes too, and it's really funny when he says T's. Like, if he swears, he says shit. He says shit. And it's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll hear it. I don't know. But I think it's cute. It's more cute. But it's like, that's probably how they taught him to say T's. Anyway. I'll ask him when he comes in how long he took in the speech thing. Okay, so this looks, for some reason, nicely rendered. So I might actually do more to the leaves now. Even though this is, like, not a thing. Like, I don't know why I went this far, but whatever. We're here now. We're here and we came here together. You all made the journey with me. Yeah, actually that's not so bad. I think this will make a really cute button. Oh no, Jazzy. I could see, especially if you were saying like something very serious and they totally get side railed or whatever. What's the word I'm trying to think of? They totally get like distracted by the fact of how you're saying something instead of what you're saying. Oh, I'd be so mad by that. You're like, hey, pay attention. That's not what this is about. We're talking about something more important here. I would reroute that person right quick. Be like, hell no, you pay attention. Especially during an argument, when you, oh my god. So I've actually inherited this thing my mom had, where when she gets upset, she stutters, right? Or stuttered, she's dead. But when she would get upset, she would stutter. And I feel so bad now because my dad and I, when I was real little, we kind of rip into her and it was for fun, but she was upset. And it's like, if you're upset, don't make fun of somebody having like issues, you know? Like, that's really sad. So I feel bad now, and she kind of got her retribution in a way because now I do it. So if I get really upset or something, I start, stuttering, and when I'm having an argument with somebody, it totally throws my credibility out the window, like completely. If you start stuttering, it makes you sound less confident, which sucks because even if I'm like you know, speaking very confidently and articulately most of the time. When I actually start getting upset, that goes out the window, and then they think that I'm getting nervous because I'm floundering or something else, so it sucks. It sucks. Because that's not at all what's happening. But it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. This is this now. That's good, Kitchen. If he was doing it to spite you, though, that'd be a totally different thing. If he was, like, frustrated, and he looked at you like that, I'd be like, oh, you asking for it, so you gonna get it. It's taco night tonight, man. What do you guys got for dinner? For those that still haven't had it, or if you've had it, let me know what you've had. Dina. Taco night. Since Gabe's not going to be here the next couple nights, it's like, well, gotta have a good dinner for him tonight. And honestly, this usually would not take me this much time, but I think I'm belaboring it because I don't want to go back to what I was really doing. You know, and I enjoy this part of my Patreon so much, where when I have to stop doing it, it sucks. Because it's like, no, I'd like to work on this a little more, please. Jazzy, did you get the groundhog? Hi, Neon Phoenix, what's up? Oh, Wubbles, thank you for the raid. Ooh, veggie stir fry. Ooh, yeah. Baby! Love me some veggie stir fry. All day. What do you use for sauce, Mayfox? Like, what's your favorite sauce? I found out people make veggie stir fries differently. Like, people can say veggie stir fry, but, you know, everybody thinks of something different. No, Wubbles, it's not. It's actually my Clover pip. So this is actually for my my Patreon. It's the button for this month, which I'm allowing people to still sign up for it. I changed my Patreon to be like, you get charged on sign up, so you can still, like, last day of the month get that month's thing. So this is going to be a button, and it's my March Clover pip. So a pip is my new mythos for, they're not fae, but they're like actual floral beings, right? So this one has a bunch of lore behind it, and when you sign up for this tier, the Curious Collector tier, you get the button of the thing, which you can kind of see here. I'll show you in a minute what it kind of looks like. You get a random button, and then you get a scroll that either has a story, a poem, a fun worksheet, stuff like that that has to do with the actual mythical monthly guardian that month. And last month I did the groundhog, because honestly the groundhog has some fun mythos to it, because it wasn't always a groundhog, that too. And they called Whistle Pigs. I love Whistle Pig. I wish they'd change the name to Whistle Pig. Anyway, so that was last month, and I was thinking this month, I was like, oh, I could do a leprechaun, but then I was like, you know what? I started this tier to do my own stuff, so then I was like, okay. So I made this guy, who's technically the whole bottom part, and whether it's a poncho, whether it's pants, it's up to you to decide that. But it is a 4-leaf clover. And then this part is actually, this one has pink on it, but some are just white. It's one of these clover blossoms, right? So they're technically the flower, I don't want to say fae, but they're like fae, but I call them pips. So I'm going to have a bunch of different flower pips. Sometimes they'll come up once every couple months or something, but sushi! Oh, Kitchen, you said the yummy word. Oh no, it's coming apart. How did you like the groundhog poem, Jazzy? Was it kind of heavy? But what part came off? Was it the bottle top? Because, here, let me show you kind of what it looks like. Is it the print sheet? Groundhog, labels, randoms. Okay. So, these are my past ones. A couple here. Oh, my Tonti. I could probably kick him out of there. Show you what he looks like. Don't say. So, here's your problem. So they get put in like a globe like this that gets put on a button, and then on the button I put a little bottle top to it so it looks like they're in a bottle. So they're your guardian for that month. But oh, the picture's separating from the pin? Oh man. That was for the groundhog, Jazzy? Yes? I can send you a new one. Because sometimes they don't fully fuse when you do the button maker. So I can send you a replacement one if you want. Yeah, it was for the groundhog? Okay. Oh, Kristen, you like it? It was a bit heavy. I thought I put myself in the groundhog's shoes. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Especially when you're a fake myth, right? And people pretend to, oh, he's gonna tell us the weather. And no one actually believes him and he's always wrong. It's like, how would you feel if that was your job? That's basically a meteorologist. Honestly, but at least they have science to back them up, right? Okay, so Jazzy, you're still on the pin tier, right? No, there's no way to put it back together if it starts falling apart. That's why you need that machine I've got. Well, hello! Did you go for your walk? You had a Camino? Yay! Oh, why are you wet? Why is she wet? Oh, honey, get down. Get down. I'm glad you're happy, but get down.
Is she really wet?
Her face kind of is. Did she put her face in the grass?
No.
Oh, okay. Jazzy, well, how about the next time you up it again, I send the pin with you, because they cost like $3 to ship. Like, when I do this tier, honestly, I don't get paid for it. All the $6, it ended up going to all the supplies, which honestly, I didn't plan that very well, because I get nothing, but then again, I'm doing this because I want to. So, that's my trade-off, you know? And I'm getting something done. So, you know, I'm making up excuses for myself, but I want to do it anyway. So at least you guys are kind of paying for at least the shipping, you know. 13.4. God, I hate that. I really hate that if you duplicate a layer within a clipping mask structure, that it just bumps all the other ones out. Like, why don't they fix that? I hate that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
What are you clipping masks?
You don't use them?
No, I mask the folder or the layer. I use the actual clipping mask.
Oh.
I just, I do a mask on the layer itself. And then if I need to apply that mask to other things, then I just,
Oh, I probably could, Jazzy. Oh, no, he sends those in envelopes.
what's that?
You're supposed to mail Jazzy a sketch card.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I can't put a button in that because it is it an envelope?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just combine them, or how much more expensive would that be? Because it turns into a parcel.
I mean, that would be,
Honey, what are you doing?
that would be like $3, I guess. So, I mean, yeah, if we want to combine them, that's fine.
Hey, Tigil. Man train porn art. Right? Damn, can't believe you remember that. Don't do it, just leave it. Okay, Jazzy, I'll hold on to it, alright? When you re-up it again, just send me a message or something to remind me. Kitchen said, Gabe, I'm going to send you onion money tonight.
Oh, cool.
Does she want the onion night?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
I'm glad you reminded me because I think I.
Yeah, tonight, well, you'll be able to ship it Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been back. I've got a backlog of things I gotta ship out because of all the stuff we're going through.
It's weird because you add a layer, see? And it all stays together, but if I duplicate a layer, it all gets kicked out. That's so dumb. And it's been like that forever. It's like Photoshop. Get your act together, come on. Man train porn art. How you been, Tigil? Tail, Tigil. I forget what you prefer.
Late for Tigil, isn't it?
Huh?
Pretty late for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like
Hi,
late.
Ethan. How are you? Welcome. Yeah, I don't know.
His neck of the woods. I think it's pretty late.
Well, Serenity even went to bed.
Yeah.
Like, if Serenity goes to bed, the whole internet's, like, gone. Are you working on a Cintiq? Yeah, I am, but oh my god. This always opens a philosophical thing for me.
Let her answer the question first.
Yeah, I guess. He said it's almost 1 a.m. That's not too bad.
Oh.
1 a.m.'s not bad. Yeah, Jazzy, ask me the question, but know that this is a really old one, and it's got some issues. And if I had to buy one again, it'd be a knockoff brand, probably like Gabe's. But only buy one if you earn it with your art already. Don't buy it to improve your art if you don't think you're that good yet. Because, like, your tools aren't going to fix where your skill's at. That's what I mean. I always have to say this just because everybody's like, oh, especially Gabe's brother. He thinks that getting a Cintiq will fix, you know, his lack of art skill. It's like, no, dude, that's not how this works. You know, getting a $70 paintbrush is not going to make you paint better. Same thing, you know. But yeah, Jazzy, what's your question?
Bruni.
Oh, that's great, Ethan. I'm well. I am very well. I'm tired, but I'm working on my Patreon stuff right here. So, if you have any questions about that, let me know. I have a Cintiq. I feel that way. I'm not once in a while. Click outside the window. Change the color. Oh! Changes the entire screen on your Cintiq? Like, what color does it change to? Does it get darker, or does it completely change the color? I have never...
I've had that problem on mine.
I have it where if you look up at my menu bar, it goes inactive, but that's normal. But change its color.
I have that.
You have that?
It changes.
Wait, Jazzy, don't you have Gabe's? Or no, do you have a legit Cintiq, or do you have the Huon? So I thought, didn't she have the Huon? Hey, hey, don't scratch your head.
What the hell's her thing?
Your phone? Did you put it over by the door? A Wacom 13 HD. That's basically what I have.
It might be something to do with the HDMI cable too. But I have the same problem where it'll. Does it ever change back?
Do you mean the whole screen though, or just like the color? So like if I clicked off this green, you're saying if I clicked over here it would make it darker? You're not, this might sound like a turn it off and turn it on again, but you're not clicking outside of it in a clipping mask with it on multiply, are you? Because then you're adding more blue onto it. You're not doing that, are you? Like, can you replicate it like over and over and over again? See, I've never heard of that. That almost sounds like something like that's happening. If it's just that one... Hey, I can help. Come here. Come here. You want to hold it? I know you don't like it, but you need it. Stinky Moo. Honey, let's get some of oh yeah. Give her some good earrobes. Now I'm going to click outside the entire application. Can't fix it until I turn the whole thing off. How old is it, Jazzy? And when was the last time you updated the driver? That could be a driver issue. Oh my god, it's cold. Ugh. Can you distract her with something? Sometimes it's for some changes. Yeah, that's really weird, Jazzy. I haven't really heard of that before. And it's just that one color, like none of your other colors change? Oh, it's refurbed? Yeah, I don't buy anything refurbed because of that reason. Sometimes they fix it like to a certain degree, but if it's anything like super, you know, bad, they can't. Like I have a refurbed PS3 that actually eventually bricked itself again, so I don't know. I don't trust refurbed stuff anymore. Yeah, but hopefully it's just like a software issue, like the driver stuff. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Does that feel good, Mush? Huh?
Maybe she dug herself up in the front.
What do you mean?
And you just read. I think she got herself a few times.
You mean clawing herself?
Yeah.
Mm.
Probably why she's freaking out now.
Are you hungry, Gabe?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat soon?
Yeah.
Well, it is almost 7. I usually stop at 7. Alright guys, I'm gonna go in 10 minutes. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, ask, anything like that, you got 10 minutes. Aw, Mama! I love them. Well, we love you too. 21 months.
Wow.
Actually, you're beating Sniggle. Sniggle's at 18.
She's the oldest.
Yeah, you might actually be the oldest subscriber, Mama. And I was telling people earlier, if you actually want something for your money, switch over to Patreon instead. But I assume at this point you're doing it for the run. So you get the 21 nub rubs. So make your wish, alright? I'm going to go varying speeds because that's a shit ton of months, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Thank you. We appreciate it. You've been streaming a lot lately. How's that been? The yellow light. No, I think it was red. Like, it was to the point where any game I put into it, it was like, it was basically freezing within the first 10 minutes and just, like, dying. So, I gave up, which is fine. Oh, Mushy, you okay? Oh, her spirit is just broken. Poor baby. Okay. I think I might blur these too. I didn't want to blur these, but where's yours?
Refilled it.
Oh. I think this is good enough for what I wanted though. Maybe I want a little bit more yellow. How is the pup? She's good. She has mites, which apparently is a very common puppy problem. But they've thrown us into a deep abyss of sadness. So she's got the cone on. She's on some meds. I didn't realize how common of a problem mites are, but like we all have mites, and apparently puppies just don't have the immunity yet to it. You know, they get it later on. So they're very susceptible to them, and it's actually kind of scary. If you think about it, like maybe like medieval people got mites really bad, and like it ate their skin, because this is not a pretty condition. Like I was looking stuff up, it gets gross. So that's really ugh.
I can see some people still having that effect where you just don't have the thing. So.
You're so cute though, honey, even with your cone. You've just ascended to being a lamp. You're just a beautiful lamp now. She blinks at me like, ugh, Mom.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and it sucks because I don't want to post anything on her Instagram because everybody's going to freak out. And it's like, well, I don't know, I've been posting older videos, but anyway. So are fleas and mites the same? Or are they different? Don't they both just bite you?
Probably.
I guess I really don't know the difference. I know you have mites on your eyelashes, but I don't know if they do the same or are the same. Do you guys know? I like that Tigil popped in to say train porn and like, that was it. That was it?
Classic Tigil.
Classic. Things are on my mind. Oh yeah. Don't worry though, don't become a bacteria clean freak type of person though. It's okay. We have immunity against them. It's okay.
I think it's bugs.
Oh, thank you, Galactica. Mites are microscopic, fleas are not. I know you can see fleas jumping around, I do know that. So are lice fleas? What are lice then? Oh yeah, Gabe actually did that too. They took him in the back and showed him what they look like. He said they look like tardigrades. Lice are lice. Okay, but are lice bigger than fleas? Lice are people fleas. Oh. Yeah, you guys are smart.
Lice are people what?
Lice are people fleas. That makes sense. Oh, and she's already out again. She has been so funny lately. It makes me think she has narcolepsy because she will just slam down and be out like so often lately. It worries me a bit, but at the same time it's like, well, she just might be tired. I don't know. Kind of sounds like an old school printer. Doesn't she? She really does. Okay. Oh man. I just want to make sure no one's seeing these as like... Now if I say it, you guys are probably not going to be able to unsee it.
Something phallic?
No, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like this little thing has a giant rack. But it's like, you can't unsee it. So she's like sitting here like, yeah! And now it's kind of, I don't know. Damn highlights. Alright, so I don't think I should add the highlights because it makes it look even more like those are boobs. So I'm not going to do that. That is not what I want for this cute little thing. Oh, Lord. Why aren't you moving? Oh, whatever. I'm not even in it. Lice can't jump. Oh!
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently they can't.
Oh, so fleas can.
Fleas can, yeah. You ever seen one of those cartoons where the flea jumps from? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, kitchen. Hey, Heather. What's up? Mom, I think everything looks like boobs. You know, if there's one, I guess, default to have, I guess that one's okay. Oh. Yeah, so, okay. Let me explain. The top-down view looks like this. So, it's got... Why is nothing working anymore? Oh my god. That moment where you have something selected and nothing's working until you unselect it. Anyway, okay. So the top down, like the eyes are over here, right? It looks like a blossoming onion or whatever. But then the 4-leaf clover is the poncho, skirt, whatever, what have you, right? And here are the arms, let's say. So from top down, they are a 4-leaf clover slash, you know, these clover blossoms. So one of these doodle-whats, except no pink. I don't want any pink on this one. I don't want two things of mine to have pink and green and white. Awesome, okay. Because when I have these in my Patreon, it'll explain in their lore that they're, you know, their bottom half is a 4-leaf clover. So without that knowledge or seeing them run, though I think I was this close to calling these guys the Cloverkin. Because it makes more sense. But whatever. It's a pip now. They're pips. Clover pip. So for anybody who wants the button of this, you can go on my Patreon. I'll throw it anyhow. And you can get that up until the end of the month. I changed my Patreon, so if anybody wants any of the pins right away, buttons, I should say buttons, right away, that you can just sign up and it pays right away, like you get charged right away, and then if next month you don't want it, you can get out. It's fine, you know. So, no, I'm not, Mama, because if you've seen my, I have a lily pad pin, and it's the same goddamn colors, and I didn't want that. So instead of pink, I'm gonna just have this, you can't see it on the screen really, but the arms and the feet and the squiggles, those are a lot more yellow. So it's more like it's yellow, green, green, and white. So I just didn't want two things that had the same color palette. I feel like a dork. Oh, thank you, Jazzy. So yeah, with calling these pips, at least in the future, I can do different flowers and stuff too. And I've already started sketching out other ones too. So that'll be fun. And apparently, like the name Pip, when I was looking it up, it means a lot of different things that all kind of coincide with these. Like they're tiny little things and all this stuff, so it worked out really well. So my daughter wants this pen and I don't want to share mine, so Sarah goes, yeah, Kristen, I'll talk to you about it. It should be fine. She doesn't want the random other pen though, right? She just wants this one extra. Yeah, I'll talk to you separate about that. Message me on Instagram, okay? So I remember, because I'm ending in like a minute. Does anybody know of any artists right now that are streaming that I can raid? I would like to pass the love.
Jan is streaming.
Jan is? Oh, Jan. I love Jan. I'm following some weird people. Well, maybe I should raid Jan. What's she drawing?
Something cute, I don't know.
Is it cute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess we can rate it Jan. It's just Jan draws, right? It's no, like, hyphen or nothing? Okay. Let's see, what else? So, Gabe will be at C2E2 this weekend. So if anybody's in the Chicagoland area, go to C2E2. It's the biggest con technically of the Midwest. He'll be back Monday in stream. Yeah, because you'll be home Sunday night.
Yep.
Yeah. So Gabe will be streaming on Monday, same time as usual, 4 p.m. Central. What are you gonna be doing, Gabe?
Not sure actually. Probably.
Bullet Hell.
Probably Bullet Hell.
Yeah. He'll be working on his webcomic and talking about comics. So if anybody has any question about comic, he can help. And then I'll be back on Thursday. So we're gonna have probably a pretty normal schedule up until May then. I'll probably be doing a few more commissions during the stream than usual because I'm on that time crunch, but and then my next con is in May, so I've got some time. So we'll have regular streams Mondays and Thursdays for like a month, so that'll be really cool. Whoa! But yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday on Game Stream, okay? Let's raid Yen. She's a nice lady, and she's very, very good. She draws all the damn time. She's so good. So let's pass on the love. But we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.